Welcome to the first video series about teaching aptitude. So, these topics are gonna make you feel a bit bored, so don't get worried. If you are not interested in learning these topics, you are only interested in answering the questions, then skip to the next video part where we discuss the previously asked questions. Teaching aptitude questions cannot be avoided for the NET examinations. The basic qualification for the associate professors in the college is the NET examinations. Okay, let's move on and understand what is teaching and what is the basics of teaching. We have the greatest teacher in our front, our nature itself. But would you call it as an education? No. We can say that teaching have two levels. We have both formal teaching as well as informal teaching. The informal teaching is your natural way of understanding things from the nature or your family itself. On the other hand, the formal teaching means the lessons you learn from the schools and colleges which are done by the paid professionals or to attain an educational degree in your life. So we have two basic classification of teaching. We have formal and informal teachings. So let's see what are the basic concepts of teachings. So you have to understand that I'm just saying about some of the key terms you have to look for when you get a question regarding the concept of teaching. So among the first concept of teaching, a teaching is the purposeful direction and management of the learning process. So what is teaching? Teaching is providing a direction to whom? To the students for learn something. So it's the basic concept of teaching, providing a sense of direction for the learning process of a particular student is the basic concept of teaching. And when we are moving on to the next topic, that is change. The change means the sense of direction as well as learning should impose some positive change in the characteristics of the students. Both mental as well as the educational intellectual levels of change should be reflected in a particular student. That's the important feature of teaching. And we have another concept regarding teaching with respect to the teacher is that he must be a skillful person. So teaching is the effective process of utilizing one's skills. The teacher has some set of skills which should be used to improve the set of skills of the students. And all of this action should be done based upon achieving a particular goal set by both the student and the teacher. From the primary education itself, the whole curriculum is set based upon achieving certain goals. From the primary education, the goal should be providing basic education, his nature of thinking, and his pattern of thinking, and to introduce new topics and new concepts regarding the world. So that might be a goal of the primary school education. When moving on to the higher educations, your goal might be attaining a job, attaining great marks in examination. So likewise, the goal changes according to the educational level or the teaching application level. And all these things should be achieved by using a well-defined plan. Okay, all the topics discussed here should be revolved around a particular plan. So planning is needed to achieve the direction, to improve the learning goals, to achieve the targets, to produce change in the students as well as for learning new things both to the teachers as well as to the students. So you got the key points in this the concepts of teachings. These are the 6 points you have to look for when you are writing a question regarding the concepts of teachings. We are moving on to the next topic, that is the basic teaching models. A classroom involves both the teacher as well as the learner. So the basic teaching models can be of two types, that is one is centered around the teacher and the other one is centered around the student or the learner. So the first one is the instructor centered model and the other one is the learner-centered model. Instructor-centered model means that model is designed purely for the students from the primary educations. What what does that means? The instructor-centered model means the entire classroom system would be guided by the instructor. That is the teacher who gives the students the instruction materials. The students are entirely depending upon the teacher for his education purpose. And when the education moved to a higher level of the higher education schemes, the system must be shifted from the instruction center to the learner center, and the learner himself take the responsibilities of his own learning capabilities. And based upon these two categories, we have two different terms to represent these two models of teaching. The one is pedagogical and andragogical. These are the two terms which defines the instructor centered as well as the learner centered. So you have to keep an eye on these two terms. You might be seeing this in the question paper, where pedagogical means purely based upon the methods of teaching for the students who are in the lower classes or the lower level, which needs more care and more attention in teaching. That means a guide is needed for the pedagogical type of teaching. In the case of andragogical type of teaching, which means the teaching takes to a higher level, that the students are the center of the education. The students motivated themselves to teach themselves to understand the concepts. That gives an idea about the andragogical type of teaching. Okay, next is the different levels of teaching. You might be wondering what consists of the different levels of teaching. It is based upon the different levels of understanding of a particular person. That means whenever he receives an information, how he processes it is in his memory, and what he understands or what he concludes from his memory, and finally what the action he do with the thing he learned and stored in his memory, and the understanding concepts, how he is tackling the real world problems with a reflective approach. This consisted of the three levels of teaching: the memory level of teaching, the understanding level of teaching, as well as the reflective level of teaching. These are the three theories of teaching, or the three levels of teaching, put forward by three eminent persons. The memory level is put forward by the Herbert, and the understanding level is put forward by the Morrison, and the reflective level is put forward by the Hunt. The names are not important for your examinations, so skip the names and just understand the concept of each and every one. So the first one is the memory level of understanding, or the memory level of teaching. What is memory level of teaching? It is the initial stage of learning or teaching, which means you are seeing the things with your eyes. You are trying to feed your memory with as much as senses, as much as responses, and all those things should be stored into our memory. And this level of teaching means only you are giving your brain the ability to store the information in our brain. So a good memory includes the rapid learning of facts and figures, and we have to recall their memory whenever we are needing that information for processing. And the second level is the understanding level. In order to understand something, we need the support of the memory level. So understanding means it provides a more opportunities for our brain to use the memory to reach at certain conclusions, or you have to organize the memory according to our level of understanding of the concept. You can formulate some theories, you can formulate some suggestions. All these things should be based upon the second level, that is the level of understanding. And among the highest level is the reflective level, which combines both the memory level as well as the understanding level in order to give you in reflective types of teaching. What is the reflective types of teaching? It means whatever memory you have, whatever understanding of the concept you have, it is not useful unless you are using it. You know how to do a mathematical problem. You have the memory, that means the memory of a, say, the multiplication table, and you know how this thing works. That means how the signs work, that is the addition, subtraction, all these things work. That is the understanding level. On the reflective level, where we solve a particular problem using both our memory and our understanding, and which gives a reflective level of teaching or reflective level of understanding of teaching. So that's about the intro part. This is the first part where we discussed about the basic teaching models, as well as the different levels of teaching, as well as some of the basic concepts regarding teaching, and more videos are going to be uploaded soon. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep supporting us. Subscribe if you like your videos, and comment if I have any mistakes done in my videos. Correct me. Thank you.